What are your targets? You have a couple of promising players. Like, what do you expect to be a cheap buy if possible for the Mumbai Indians? A lot of ex-Mumbai Indians players that are there in the auction table.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a buyback. Liam Livingston is definitely going to be a hot prospect. He's one name I'm interested to see where he'll end up, but
moving into our next team, and it's the five-time champions, the Mumbai Indians, who did not have a impressive season, I can say, last time around, where everything went the other way around. But now the unity is there. A team which could have spoiled their entire core has stuck around, has built their core as expected. The defending champions who were there for so many years are now back, and they are ready to roar. Pultons, we always say. Mumbai Indians. I have Godfrey with me. Welcome to the show, Godfrey. What are your thoughts when it comes to Mumbai Indians? How happy are you with the core players you have selected? But just only 45 crores is what your purse is moving into the auction table. Confident to get a good squad?
I think we've done what we are known for doing all these years. We retain our core. No doubt there were a lot of talks over social media as to, some sort of internal issues or whatever you can call that between the players, given the captaincy saga from last season as well. So, yeah, there were doubts, no doubt, but I think the management has handled it in the best way possible, given that there's been a change at the helm as well, right? We've got Mahela back as the coach. So, I think I'm really optimistic here, but I think we are back to our glory days. At least we've taken the first step towards that direction. With the retentions, I'm totally happy. I would say expected retentions. We've got Rohit Sharma, defending ICC World Cup captain.
Absolutely.
Hardik Pandya, who was our captain last season. Surya Kumar, the current captain of the Indian T20 team. Bumrah, the vice captain, and Tilak Verma, who's in great form, as we've seen in some recent series. Even in the emerging Asia Cup, he was captaining Team
True
India.
That. He was the captain, yeah. So do you think, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you think the things changed to the betterment of the Mumbai Indians after winning the World Cup when they came to the Wankhede Stadium and the welcome which Hardik Pandya especially received at the Wankhede Stadium? Do you think that completely changed the complex of the way he was treated and then came everything around?
Because if you take a look last season in our own home ground at Wankhede, the support, or you can say the crowd reaction to Pandya was not that welcoming.
Absolutely.
You could see clips of it all over social media. So I think, in the World Cup, Hardik Pandya proved that why he is that clutch player when he comes handy at those crunch situations. So yeah, I think to an extent, whatever happened in the World Cup and whatever happened after the World Cup during the parade and stuff at the Wankhede, I think that kind of has changed the mentality of some of the fans. I would say, no doubt there are negatives everywhere.
True that. Absolutely.
That's not going to end totally, but I think the sentiment is now a bit more positive, and I believe this year it's going to be more beneficial for the team in terms of support from the fans as it was last year.
Absolutely expecting that when it comes to the Mumbai Indians, such a successful franchisee. But as you mentioned and you explained more or less about the retained players, we move on to the only right to match card you have. Just like many other franchisees, one right to match card is there in your list, and you're already taken uncapped, so you can take anyone you can. What are your targets when it move into the auction table with just 45 crore? I need to mention this time and again because it's not a big one, but with 45 crores and you have to take minimum of 13 more players to make a squad. What are your targets? You have a couple of promising players like Nihal Vadera is there. You have Anshul Kamboj, who recently took a 10-wicket haul. If you go to the overseas powerhouse, Tim David is there, Romario Shepherd. So what are your thoughts? Who would be your first choice picks when it comes to right to match cards?
I think MI have put themselves in a spot where they have a lot of options to choose from. If you look solely on the performance of the previous season or maybe the couple of seasons which have passed, I think Nehal Vadera stands out as a prominent name. Like we would want to keep him. I think recently when Tilak Verma even scored a century against South Africa, the clip of Rohit praising Tilak and Nehal got viral. So I think those may be indications that Nehal Vadera might be our RTM pick. But if not, I guess someone like Anshul Kamboj, as you mentioned, picked up a 10 for. I think he will be another good person to have back. Talking over the overseas side, I'm not too sure how inclined would fans be to have Tim David back because honestly, in my opinion, I wouldn't use the RTM card for him. If we get him back at a cheaper rate, well and good. one name what stands out for me from the overseas side it will be Nuwan Tushara. I mean, given
Okay.
that
Yeah.
he's pretty unique in terms of bowling, and now that Malinga, his mentor, is a part of the MI setup as well. I think last year was just his first year. Maybe this year, give him more time to see how he can proceed. And I am hopeful that he's definitely going to perform well. But I think if it comes to me from the overseas side, it will be definitely Nuwan Tushara. If not, Nehal Vadera is definitely the pick.
Okay, so you've gone with a couple of Indian. You've said Tushara, you've said Kamboj, but you're going with Nihal Vadera as an Indian and Nuwan Tushara as your overseas when it comes to right to match card. Fair enough. If you move on to now the department wise, starting with the wicket keepers, a huge blow when it comes to Mumbai Indians franchise when we see no more Ishan Kishan opening alongside Rohit Sharma at the top of the order. Maybe you can buy him back, but when it comes to the top of the order with the budget you have, I don't think so. You need to think about Josh Butler kind of a player because he's going to be out of your reach, to be honest. So, who are the players you can more or less target who can open alongside Rohit Sharma? I think like somebody like a Quinton de Kock is perfectly fit, to be honest. Welcoming back into the Mumbai side. Or maybe if you can be able to get Ishan Kishan at a cheaper rate, maybe a right to match for him as well. Maybe that could be an option. Anybody else for you? Is Johnny Besto in your list? Is Raimanullah Gurbaz, Phil Salt? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, as you said, getting back Butler might not be easy. I mean, it's definitely going to be difficult because he's coming out in the very first set itself. So
Absolutely.
I don't think that's looking feasible. Some of the other options, as you mentioned, maybe Phil Salt or even someone like Gurbaz, I think they will be handy because I think Ishan Kishan, no doubt that he's a really destructive Indian batsman, Indian prospect. What he added to the team was that along with Rohit Sharma, the left-right combination
Absolutely.
is something what teams target to usually have as their opening combination. So I think there will be a lot of factors playing here in the team management's minds. But if you look solely to get an overseas explosive batsman at the top, I think some of the names what you called out, Bairstow as well, it will be a good option.
But
Ideally,
I have heard many people in the show before we had so many teams covered up that they have spoken about different players at the top of the order, but not mentioning Quinton de Kock. He can be somebody that can be a like-to-like replacement, being a right-left combination. But what is your thought? Is the retirement which he's taken after the World Cup and not being part of regular cricket in the white ball format, is that the reason why his name is not being recommended much?
Uh, yes, I think that will definitely play a major part in a team's thinkings when it comes to whether or not they should be going for Decock because once you retire from playing international cricket regularly, there are very few examples who still are at the same level. I think MS Dhoni is definitely one of the best example in that case. But since this is a mega auction, I think teams will be looking down the line as well for the next 2-3 years. How can they you know set up a core in place, right, for the next 2-3 years that not many changes. And keeping that factor in mind, I'm not too sure how much QDK will fit into that list, but definitely, given that he was a part of the ideal squad from 2020, 2021, getting him back will definitely be good, but I'm not banking a lot on it, to be honest.
Okay, so you're not banking a lot. You've given your picks, to be honest, at the top of the order. And moving into the batters department, if you continue to have destructive mode at the top of the order, somebody like a Jake Fraser McGurk, who almost lit up the show last time around for the Delhi Capitals, maybe he can go back to Delhi, but there is always an option open when it comes to Jake Fraser McGurk coming to a new franchisee. Maybe Mumbai Indians hire him. If you need a responsible left-handed opener alongside Rohit Sharma, you can go for Devon Conway, maybe Venkatesh Iyer, David Padikkal, Rachin Ravindra is there. Namandhir, is he in your list to be bought back or used as an RTM?
Yeah, I mean, yes, definitely. Navandhir got a good chance last season. In terms of RTM, I am not too sure whether MI will go to RTM him, but if they are getting him back at a lower cost, I think he's definitely worth a buyback. But apart from that, as you took some good names, right? Devon Conway, I feel CSK might put the RTM for
Okay.
him because he's been one of their stalwart players since
What
the
about
past
the
few
other
seasons.
Kiwi, Rachin Ravindra?
Rachin Ravindra, given his heroics against India in the recently concluded Test series, I think I think he might be a hot prospect throughout the auction, but I'm not too sure whether MI fans will be that keen on seeing him in the blue and gold. But definitely Jake Fraser McGurk is a big name. I would say I think he's someone who, as a fan personally, I would also want to see be a part of the MI setup. So among these list of batters, I think Jake Fraser is one of the top picks for me at least.
And I think he will enjoy batting at the surfaces
Yeah,
like Wankhede Stadium and few
yeah.
others like Kotla is there, Eden Gardens. So yes, that's a very fair enough pick to be honest. Moving into the all-rounder section, the middle order batters, destructive is all around there to be honest. Glenn Maxwell is there in the auction table to be honest. Godfrey, is he in your list? David Miller. How often have you seen Killer Miller also being part of the list? You have other options to Glenn Phillips, Liam Livingston. So many destructive players are there. Any targets for you when it comes to all-rounders for Mumbai Indians?
I will definitely say that there are a lot of players, and in a format like T20, all rounders are the most important assets. Someone who can give you a minimum of 2 or 3 overs here and there, who can bat with a strike rate of above 150. I think you're definitely going to be sought after most franchisees. Uh, Given the number of all rounders currently going in the world of T20 cricket, I think Liam Livingston is definitely going to be a hot prospect. I feel he's going to go for a big buck. That's why I wouldn't.
True that.
I will want him to be a part of MI, but I think he might go for a big buck. And the same applies for someone like a Glenn Phillips as well, who's a really good part timer when it comes to T20s. There have been talks that Glenn Maxwell, given that he's towards the end of his cricketing career, so to say, he might not go for that much. And given his MI
True.
connection back in 2013, the $1 million baby, as we used to call him back then. So I think Glenn Maxwell might be someone who might end up in MI, but there are a lot of talks. They can even go behind someone like Krunal Pandya or someone.
I
Ideally,
was
Liam
about to
Livingston.
come to him. I was
Yeah,
about to come to him, I must tell you.
yeah,
Is there a chance for both the Pandya brothers to reunite and play for the Mumbai
yeah,
Indians once again?
yeah. I think they might go behind Krunal, but not too sure whether he'll actually end up, because even I feel he might go for something in excess of 7-8 crores, and given the purse we have, we might have to think a bit strategically around him as well.
Is he possibly one of the right to match targets for Lucknow Super Giants too?
I think he should, because having a good Indian all-rounder who can ball in the middle, hit some big shots. I think that's one prospect what most of
And
the teams
also
in
an
the
IPL
IPL will be.
experience because they do not have any
Yeah,
Mokel Rahul. So I think that's something which they need to look into, to be honest.
exactly. And he's someone who down the years you can even look. So I think they've named Nikki Puran as their captain, but going forward, he's someone who can even potentially lead the side as well in the upcoming years. So I think Krunal Pandya might be a preferred RPM option for LSG.
Okay, so you're saying Krunal Pandya will be an option for the Mumbai Indians, but till a limit, to be honest, keeping in mind your budget. But if you go to a little bit of new ball bowling, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is there in your list. Shardul Thakur possibility there. Deepak Chahar has said he's confident that Chennai Super Kings will surely bid for him. So Deepak Chahar is also in the radar. Anyone you expect to be a cheap buy, if possible, for the Mumbai Indians?
At least among the names which you mentioned, I don't see anyone being a cheap buy. For that matter, I think Bhuvaneshwar Kumar might not go for anything in excess of 5 CR, is what I would say, because
True, absolutely.
there was a time when he was among the top three best bowlers in the country. Definitely Bumrah is still on top a few years ago and even currently, but I don't think he might go for that an amount. And having him on Wankhede, I'm not too sure if that will be an ideal scenario for by putting him in the playing 11. But when it comes to someone like Shardul Thakur, born and brought up in Mumbai, he has a lot of experience playing on the ground. He can hit the ball a long way as well. So I think Shardul Thakur might be a prospect, but again, there's teams like the Punjab Kings with 110 CR left. So I think most of these buys might eventually end up in Punjab, but definitely MI will definitely go behind Thakur, is what I feel.
Absolutely. I think all the 9 teams will be doing their homeworks when it comes to battling against Punjab Kings because of the hefty amount they have. The strategy about
Exactly.
increasing their purse might just come into the factor. But if you're going into the pace bowling department, Godfrey, you have that talent of Akash Matwal, who was sensational the last couple of years. Any chance of getting him back if it's possible for a cheap buy? Your Mukesh Kumar, Akashdeep is there, Gerald Kodzi is there, Mustafizur Rahman can just come back into the side. Trent Bolt is there as well. A lot of ex-Mumbai Indians players that are there in the auction table.
Yeah, I think Trent Bolt might be, someone we will definitely love to get back. As I mentioned, the same for QDK, right? Part of the dream T20 squad. Trent Bolt was a major part back then as well. So I think MI might bid heavily on Trent Bolt to have him back. But again, even he's been out of the international circuit on and off now and then. So I think even that might be a factor playing in the back of the minds of many teams. Uh, Akashdeep, good. I think he might be a sought after prospect, but not too sure if MI would go behind him. Mukesh Kumar, I feel DC might RTM him because he's been among the decent pace bowlers going around in the country over the past, say, 18, 24 months. So I think DC might want to retain him in that case. But more than the pace options, I think where we have been lacking over the past few seasons is our spin department, and I think that's one thing what we will definitely want to sharpen a bit more going into the
Okay.
options.
Yeah, that's true. But you had that weakness of the spin department too. To be honest, for a long number of years, especially in the last couple of years, Piyush Chawla was the only one so experienced. But I don't think so. He works at this moment in this generation. What are the options you're going for? You said about Kunal Pandya though, but if you need a frontline spinner, there are options. Washington Sundar had a wonderful Test series. Do you think his line and length in the Test match? I heard an SRH fan talking about this as well. The line and length he bowls might not just work out in T20 format. Allah Ghazanfar is there as well. Noor Ahmed is there. A couple of Afghanistan's cricketers. What are your thoughts? Who could be potential targets for the Mumbai Indians when it comes to the spin department?
I mean, definitely, Washington Sundar, as you mentioned, would be a good prospect. Again, red ball cricket, white ball cricket, two different sides of the coin. But having that sort of Indian all-rounder flavor at the bottom of your order, I think that really would add value to any team.
True that.
Uh, in terms of spin, I think one name which I feel might end up in MI would be Hasaranga.
Okay.
He's been on and off with injuries. I believe last season he was out due to injury for SRH as well.
Yeah.
But he's been doing some good stuff for Sri Lanka cricket as well. And given that you've got guys like Malinga at the helm in MI, I think there
True.
might be sort of a itch to go behind him. Spend an extra amount for him. So he's one name I'm interested to see where he'll end up. But apart from that, all good names. You took the names of a few Afghan spinners. We know already Rashid Khan has been a legend already. So the guys like Noor, Gansafar, all of these could be good prospects as well.
Okay, so you've basically covered all the departments, to be honest, Godfrey. Thank you so much for that. Moving into the final question, which I always ask with the 45 crores you have, 13 players you have bought, and with the retentions you have already made, how confident are you to build up a good squad after the IPL auctions?
I would say we are in a really good position, and I think we should be able to build up a really good squad. If you see, they've just recently even released the sets of players, and if you go through the sets, if you see even up to set 8 or 9, there are really really good players. It's not just within the first few
Absolutely
sets.
true. Yeah.
You've got the elite players done. So a team like MI, who definitely is short on cash at this point, will definitely have the option of getting in those big names eventually, maybe even up to set 6, set 7, or even stuff. So yeah, I think I'm really confident with the way things have gone. I think we ticked off the first box, making the perfect retentions. There's been some good changes in our management as well. Someone like Paras Mambre coming in as the bowling coach as well. So
Yeah.
things are going on well this year so far. Just looking forward to the auctions, and I'm confident we will build a squad worthy of lifting our sixth title.
Okay, so he's confident that he will build up a good squad, the Mumbai Indians, and lift the sixth title. We will see, ladies and gentlemen, the Paltons are back, to be honest. Thank you so much, Godfrey. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this one. It's the Mumbai Indians who are ready for IPL auction 2025. Don't forget to subscribe to Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.